No freaking way, guys! I just did the math, and over the last 12 months, I spent a crazy amount of money chasing that one WTA point. And in return, I made a grand total of 298 euros, got a racket, and had the absolute time of my life. If I judged tennis like an investment, I'd be the world's worst investor. But hey, not everything in life needs to have a good ROI to be worth it, right? Really, I'm not in this for the money. So buckle up, because I'm about to tell you exactly how much I spent on tennis in the past 12 months. First, let's recap how it went. Over the year, I played 16 tournaments, 5 ITFs, 11 nationals, plus 3 league competitions for a whopping total of 50 matches, 43 singles and 7 doubles. My win rate, 60.5% in singles and 28.5% in doubles. So yeah, doubles career not looking too promising. Guess I'll stick to singles. Along the way, I competed in 2 different countries, brought home 8 medals, and finally earned my very first ITF point, which ranks me number 1756 in the world. Let's go! And when I wasn't competing, I was training. Or I was injured, or both at the same time. Okay, but let's talk money. How much did this whole adventure actually cost me? To make it easy, I broke it all down into 3 categories: tournament costs, training costs, and equipment costs. First, tournament costs. As I said, I played 16 tournaments in total, only 5 of which were ITFs, 2 in Finland, where I live, and 3 in Italy, where I'm from. And to keep the cost even lower, 3 ITFs I played in Italy were in the same place and in a row, so I just had to fly there and back once. The other national tournaments were mainly in Finland, but Finland is big, and we often had to rent a car and or book a hotel to play them. So I spent 846 euros for 4 flights, 903 euros for rental cars, gas, taxis, train and bus tickets, for a total of 1,749 euros for travel, 888 euros for hotels and Airbnbs, 22 nights in Italy and 5 nights in Finland. Then, of course, to play tournaments you need to have a license and pay an entry fee. So I spent 40 euros for the Italian license, 40 euros for the Finnish license, and 67 euros for the ITF license, for a total of 147 euros for licenses. And 540 euros for the 9 tournaments I played in Finland, 60 euros for the 2 in Italy, and 36 euros for the only 15k ITF I played. The other ITF events were 25k, so the entry fee gets automatically deducted from the prize money, for a total of 636 euros for entry fees. So in total, for tournaments, travel, hotels, licenses, and entry fees, I spent 3,420 euros. Yeah, 3,420 euros just to show up and compete. Then, training costs. Anytime I was home in Finland, I had group practices, 3-4 times a week depending on the season, and in groups ranging from 6 to 12 players with 1 coach. Anytime I'd be in Italy at my place instead, I would get 1-to-1s. So for that, I spent 564 euros for group practices and 280 euros for 8 private lessons, for a total of 1,574 euros for coaching. And then, of course, no matter where, when I wasn't practicing with a coach, I was hitting with other players. So between single court hours and memberships, I spent 730 euros for courts. Now, fitness. In the first half of the year, I was following my usual high-performance tennis fitness program. Yes, big fan here. But at the beginning of the summer, I did some fitness tests and got a personalized fitness program from a fitness coach. So I spent 220 euros for the tests and the personalized plan, 57 euros for the whole year at my club gym. I know, it's a steal. For a total of 277 euros for fitness. Then, this past year I was lucky enough to not get any major injuries, but only a couple of small issues here and there. So I'm happy to report I only spent 400 euros for 2 physio sessions and 6 osteopathy sessions. Not bad, Ele. If only every year was like this. And last but not least, I pay for 2 memberships. Whoop! To keep an eye on recovery, and APIC for mental training. That is 240 euros for Whoop and 100 euros for APIC, for a total of 340 euros for memberships. So in total, for training, coaching, courts, fitness, physio and osteopath and memberships, I spent 3,321 euros. And finally, equipment costs. Unfortunately, I don't have any sponsorships to report, so all I needed to play, I paid out of my own pocket. I played the whole year with my good old Radical, so I had that already. No money spent on that. Same thing applies to strings. I played with Luxilon Alu Power, and the reel I already had was enough for the whole year. I bought single-use strings only when traveling for a short period, when I didn't take my reel with me. So here's the breakdown: 60 euros of stringing fees and 60 euros of strings for 6 stringing services in Italy, for a total of 120 euros for stringing. Insanely low, right? That's It's because my boyfriend basically became a part-time stringer, unpaid. Huge shout out to him. Then 120 euros for a pair of running shoes and 270 euros for 3 pair of tennis shoes. That is 390 euros for shoes, which honestly feels too low. I'm sure I forgot a pair or two somewhere. And finally, 190 euros on clothing. I have 1,000 outfits and rarely buy new ones. 48 euros on balls. Again, we had bought a big box the year before and mainly used that. And 215 euros on electrolytes, recovery drinks and little gym gadgets. For a total of 453 euros on miscellaneous things. So in total, for equipment, stringing, shoes and miscellaneous, I spent 963 euros, bringing the big fat number to 7,704 euros. Yep, for 1 year of tennis. So, was it more or less than you expected? Any category that totally shocked you? Drop a comment, I'd love to hear that. And if you want to help fund next year's 8,000 disasters, smash that like button and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one.